Hello everyone and welcome to, as you can tell from the video and the thumbnail, I'm sure, the November TBR game for my Catwalk TBR game. So this is for November. I do know of one, so far, one readathon that will be taking place for the month of November, and that has to do with the Friends TV show, Friends Thanksgiving. Thought it'd be fun. So I may try to participate in that. We'll see. I don't know what else is going to be going on or not. So this is the last month for the fall board. I need to work on my winter board so that it's ready for December. As of filming, today is the 17th of October. This is really the only day I can't film something like this on days that I work. And then if I land on study time, that means I have to go to the library and get a book. Well, I can't do that on Sunday because the libraries here in Utah are closed on Sundays. So that leaves Monday and Tuesday. Well, I want this video to go up either Monday the 30th or the 31st. That leaves either today or next week to film. And next week I have several appointments. So today's really going to be the ideal day. Now, whether or not if I get study time, I'm going to let you know now. If I get study time and can't go to the library today, then you'll see me pop in a different shirt explaining those books. Hopefully I can go to the library today. My mom and I are getting together with some friends and are going to go out to dinner. So I think after that, hopefully I'll be able to swing by the library if that prompt comes up and then finish this video at that point. So let's go ahead and just delve right in. I can't, with it being the 17th, I'm not going to tell you how I've done on my Catwalk TBR for October. It just helps me narrow down, because I have, honestly, I think now over 1,000 unread books in my room. So it just helps me narrow things down a bit. So it's just, I started calling it like a stack of possibilities. I don't have to get to them. There's never any punishment, so we don't have to worry about that as far as punishment, as far as not completing my TBR. So, yay for me on that. I don't know how many. I don't think I've read anything off of my October Catwalk TBR because my focus for October has been playing Becca's Spookopoly or Spookopalathon TBR board. I have been able to substitute some of the books that I've picked for the prompts on that into other TBR games or readathons. So it's worked out. Other readathons are coming along just fine. I think there's one that I only have 2 more prompts to fulfill, but for one of the readathons, and I can't think of what it is. So, but let's go ahead and figure out what books, what prompts, and what books I will be trying to prioritize or will be for my possibilities for the month of November. Okay. So first things first, let's turn this light off because we need to get the random number generator. Random picture, word, letter, emoji, prompt. Okay. Let's just Google random number generator. Okay, so right now it's set for 1 through 10, but I have 30 spots. And let's figure out where I will be starting this round. On number 27. Okay. All right, so here's the token, number 27, right there. And I almost forgot my notebook, so I know what we've got as far as the numbers and all that. Okay. Roll. Now, as a reminder, I start out with 5 prompts, and then there is a chance for that to increase as the game progresses. So roll number 1. Okay, I have a 4 and a 3. So 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 subjects. Is this, no, this is random word, I believe. Okay, so this is number 4. Oh, that's the first time landing on that particular spot. So I've got a tally for number 4. That's the first tally for that one. And now subjects. This is the 3rd time landing on subjects. So we now have 3 tallies for subjects. And this is a random word generator. Okay, so I need my random word. Once it loads, there we go. Okay, so right now it's unreasonable, and let's figure out what the word is. There we go. Advice. Okay, so I need to find a book that deals with advice, whether it's someone giving advice or something like that. And the other thing we need to do is the colors. All right, so I need to figure out what color. Not only does the book I need to pick have one of these colors, it needs to fit the word of advice somehow. And if I find a book that works perfectly for advice but doesn't fit this color, then it splits into 2 books. I have the one for advice and the one that has to have this color. If I can't find a book that has this color, then I forfeit the color and I have to pull an extra. So one prompt could end up turning into 3 books at the most. Okay, we're gonna go with this top one, and this is kind of like a magenta pink, number 214. So a book about advice, or that I can fit for the prompt advice, that has this color on the cover. So prompt number 1 was subjects. This is to generate a random word, and the word that came up was advice. The color that was drawn was this pink one, which is number 214. So I did find one book that fulfills both of those prompts, so I don't need to split this. Now the book that will cover the color and the word advice is The Skeletons of Scarborough House. This is book number 1 in the Chapelwick Mysteries series, written by Kitty French. So, and I love the fact that there is a pug. So this one says, I'm going to read the synopsis and then I will tell you how I'm getting this to fulfill the prompt. Scarborough House is haunted and no one wants to buy a place with levitating crockery or the wrong kind of rhythmic pounding throughout the night. Luckily, Melody, I Don't See Dead People, Bittersweet, has just launched a ghost-busting agency with best friend Mariana, geeky author, and a one-eared pug. They're quick to take the case, even though it has already been given to Leo Dark, Melody's rakish, despicable ex. The resident phantoms are 3 brothers, one who was murdered at 20, while the others lived to old age. Was the right person exiled, or did the true killer get away with it? Whoever gets rid of the ghosts gets paid. Can Melody and her new crew untangle the mystery first, or will Leo's distracting sexiness and Melody's bonkers family cause the agency to fall at its first hurdle? It says this is perfect for fans of Janet Ivanovich, MC Beaton, and Gina Lamena. So I'm saying this works with advice because they're trying to advise on how to get rid of the ghosts. And generally in a book like this, someone's going to have advice on how to do their job correctly, especially when 2 companies are competing. Whether or not that advice is wanted is a whole completely different thing. So I am saying that this will cover advice. As far as the color, we have a gradient here, and at some point this color is in the cover. So yes, this covers for advice and for the color. All right, roll number 2, or prompt number 2, either way. Okay, I have a 3 and a 2, so moving 5 spots. I keep twisting that, I'm sorry. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, candy. Okay, so for Candy, Candy is a free pick. This is the second time landing on that prompt in the 3 months that I've been playing this. So I have another tally there, and that is space number 9. First time landing on that particular square. I've just added that tally there. So free pick to a certain extent, because we still have to pick the color. Okay, so this gray one, I think I can make this one work. So this is Cool Gray number 7. All right, so for this prompt, number 2, I landed on, as you will have seen, obviously Candy. So this is a free pick, whatever the heck I want. Now, with stipulation, it does have to match the color. And the one that I drew was this Cool Gray 7 color. So there's a couple of more recently purchased romances that I've been wanting to get to, and this is one of them. And I really love the cover of this book, but I'm going with Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. Now this one, there's a couple of different shades of gray for the shadowing, so it is in here a couple of times, sometimes between the leaf and the flower. There's spots in there, so there's different shadings, but it is on the cover. So this works, so I don't have to split this one. So this one says, they are a match made in hell. The Griffins and the Gallows have been battling for control of Chicago's underworld for generations. Their rivalry has always been flammable, but it reignites with a fury when Ada, the youngest and wildest Gallo sibling, crashes a party at the Griffin Mansion and accidentally sets fire to the library. To stave off all-out war, her father quickly arranges a marriage between her and Callum Griffin, eldest son and heir to the Irish Mafia. Cold, ambitious, and brutal, Callum is determined to tame his headstrong new bride, but Ada is more than capable of giving as good as she gets, starting with poisoning Callum on their wedding night. The problem is, murdering him would be a lot easier if he didn't look so good while he was trying to do it. She's got a lockbox around her heart. He's got something to prove. In their struggle for dominance, who will go up in flames first? So, I am looking forward to getting to this one. All right, prompt number 3. Okay, we have a 6 and a 3, so 9 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, Labor Day. Okay, so this is spot number 18, and that's the first time landing on that square. Labor Day, I think we've done this one before. Oh, no, okay. So Labor Day is right here. This is the first tally for Labor Day, and this is a book that has to be either an adult or takes place at a work. So if I want to read a YA or a middle grade, it has to take place at a work setting. So, or again, it has to be an adult book. So for Labor Day, there's one of 2 ways I can do this. This can just take place, it can be whatever age category I want, children's, middle grade. You know, maybe there's a child that goes and plays at their guardian's work, you know, and they're exploring the workplace. That would count because it takes place at a work setting. So it either has to take place at a work setting and can be for any age range. Okay, time to pick the color to go with Labor Day. This yellow, number 7548. So it has to have this yellow on there. Or I cannot worry about a work setting and say it's just going to be an adult, because generally the biggest workforce is going to be the adults. So and then the color is this yellow, which is number 7548. This one, I think, let me just show you the cover and then I'll tell you about this color. So I'm going with Pestilence by Thalassa. This is book number 1 in the 4 Horsemen series. As you can see, it's mostly gold, but with some of the shading, like especially down here along the bottom, there's highlights, and these highlights are definitely in this color. It's hard to see And if I put the book too close up to try to see the colors, it's going to get way blurry. So, but it is in here. Like there is, right along the bottom part of the crown, there's some highlights. And this is what's used to highlight. Or at least that's what it looks like to the naked, untrained eye. Okay, it looks like it to me. So this is what I'm going to go with for adult. Whether or not this has a work setting, I don't know. But where it's an adult, the work setting does not matter. So it says, they came to earth. Pestilence, war, famine, death. 4 horsemen riding their screaming steeds, racing to the corners of the world. 4 horsemen with the power to destroy all of humanity. They came to earth and they came to end us all. When Pestilence, the first of the horsemen, comes for Sarah Burns' town, one thing is certain. Everyone she knows and loves is marked for death. Unless, of course, the angelic-looking horseman is stopped, which is exactly what Sarah has in mind when she shoots the unholy beast off his steed. Too bad no one told her Pestilence can't be killed. Alive and furious, the horseman takes Sarah prisoner, determined to make her suffer for impeding his mission. Despite her pleas, nothing and no one gets in the way of his orders to destroy humankind. Only the longer Pestilence spends beside Sarah's bravery and compassion, the more he seems to understand her and humanity. And the longer Sarah travels with Pestilence and his plague, the more uncertain she grows about his true feelings toward her and hers towards him. Sarah might still be able to save the world, but she'll have to sacrifice her heart in the process. So I'm starting a couple of different series, it looks like, but I sure hope it's worth it because these books all sound really good and I'm really intrigued. Okay, roll number 4 for the 4th prompt. Okay, we have a 5 and a 2, so moving 7 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fright time. Okay, fright time. Okay, now, so I already have 4 tallies, so this is the 5th tally for that, and this is a horror, a mystery, or a thriller. Now, because there's 5 tallies on that, it's an extra prompt, so, and that's 5 times on the same board, so we are now rolling for 6 separate prompts at least. Now, for fright time, I need a horror, a mystery, a thriller that's going to contain color, another yellow. Freesia is what this one is called. So just a different shade of yellow. So prompt number 4, I landed on fright time, and this is to read a horror, a mystery, or a thriller. So this is definitely more genre specific. The color that I pulled was this yellow, which is Freesia. Now, unfortunately, I will say I could not find anything before my back started hurting with trying to find stuff that would fit this. I did have some horror mystery thrillers that had a yellow on it, but it was either more neon and more pale or more pastel. It was just way too different from this. There's no way I could justify oh, hey, this gradient with the shading or anything like that. It was way too different. So unfortunately, that means that there was a punishment. So I do have one that fits the horror mystery thriller, and then I have a book that would have fit this, but because I couldn't, then there's another book. So it ends up being split into 3 books. So this color, because I could not find a book, will go back into this box to be drawn at a later point, and hopefully I'll own a book that I can find that will have this color on the cover in the future. So, okay. So the book for mystery, horror, mystery, or thriller I'm going with is Cold Silence by Danielle Girard. I think this is more of a mystery thriller. And this is book number 1 in a series, I believe. I do own the series. I think this is part of a series. All right, I gotta look it up because I know I have more books by this author that are part of a series, but I don't know if this is a standalone or part of the series. I hope I didn't screw up. Okay, this is actually a standalone. So this is not part of the series that I have by the same author. This one's a standalone. And this is, now that I have Goodreads pulled up, it does say this is a thriller, mystery, or a mystery thriller. Did I say dystopian? Oh, it says detective, not dystopian. Okay. All right, this one says, a widow and ex-FBI agent of hard-earned courage, Cody O'Brien, is finally enjoying the quiet life, providing a good home for herself and her 8-year-old son, Ryan. Then, Ryan is kidnapped in broad daylight, and Cody knows why. Her life is a dangerous lie, easily exposed by the killers responsible for her husband's murder. Failed by the witness protection program, she's on the run again, trusting only herself to save her son, while heading blindly towards a past that wants only one thing from her, cold-blooded revenge. So obvious trigger warning right off the back with a child abduction. Definitely be aware of that, but that's what I'm going with. So at that point, after going through all my books and just not finding a yellow that matches, because again, it was way lighter or way darker, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go with some books that I want to read. So the one that will take place of the color is Ricochet. This is book number 2 in the Addicted to You series, and I've wanted to get back with these characters. So this one we're following Lily. Is this one only following Lily? Oh, Ren is what he went. Lauren Hale. So Lauren is addicted to alcohol, Lily is addicted to sex. And they're both basically in recovery. In the first one, you see how much they enable each other and enable each other's addictions. And it is a romance between the two. And how sometimes it's hard to ask for help with your addictions and things like that. So Ricochet is book number 2 in that series. And I've wanted to get back into this. This one's actually fairly short. So I am definitely happy about that. 200 and it's less than 300 pages. So 286, but then there's like a bonus, but it's still less than 290 pages. So I'm happy about that. So this is what I'm using in place of the color. Love the cover. Okay, then the punishment or additional one I wanted to get back into this world is Dr. Harley. This is book number 2 in the City of Sisterly Love by AK Landow. This is spicy, as is the first book in this series, and I'm pretty sure a lot of these books are going to be spicy. But this one was. The first book we were following her mother, Dr. Harley's mother, and does this one have the books listed? I don't think it does. Oh, yeah. So book number 1 was Night, K-N-I-G-H-T. So this is book number 2, and this one follows her daughter who is a doctor. And so because this is a different character, it is recommended to read them in order, but I will read the synopsis on this one. For Ricochet, I'm not going to read the synopsis on this one to you because it's following the same characters, and I don't want to spoil anything in the first book on that one. But I will read the synopsis here. It says, my name is Harley Lawrence. All I've ever wanted was to become a doctor. I've sacrificed so much to get here. 3 years ago, during a difficult time in my life, I did something uncharacteristically reckless. I spent a wild night with a handsome stranger. I wanted the evening left in the past, refusing to even give him my name. When the first day of medical school came around, much to my surprise, that stranger was my professor. Our mutual attraction is undeniable, but the circumstances are not ideal. I won't become a cliché, the girl that needs to sleep with her professor to get by. I had to push him away, but I never forgot him. He never forgot me either. And now he's back in my life. He's my boss, and he won't take no for an answer. I'm trying to fight my feelings. I don't know how much longer I can resist him. So I think why it's recommended to read these ones in order, so Night and then this one, is because there's probably going to be an overarching story thread, and probably there's going to be things about her mother and the romantic interest from the first book about them. They might, I'm sure, will pop up in this. So, but if you were to just pick this up from the bookstore and read this synopsis, you might think you can read it as a standalone, but I did read. It is very much highly recommended, to avoid any spoilers at all, to read them in order. So, okay, so what would have been the last one, but now is no longer, prompt number 5 that we're rolling for. Okay, we have a 6 and a 3, so moving 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Subjects. Okay, that's the second time. getting subjects, right? Yes. Okay, so subjects. Okay, this is the 4th time overall with this board for that prompt. But it's the 2nd time in the same game. So same prompt twice per game. So we are now having to roll for 7 prompts. Okay. Oh, and that is spot number 4. And that's the 2nd time we've landed on that space today. So I don't think, let's see, don't stay in the container, a double, same prompt twice, same prompt 5 times, same number square 5 times. Okay, but I don't worry about adding into that. So only because the prompt is a double for this one round, that's when it is. Because that's easier to keep track of than the space. I just remember landing in that one. Okay. All right, so subjects, random word. So let's pick a word. Okay, so we still have the advice one pulled up, and the new word is gasp. Maybe a horror, mystery, or thriller, because they have twists that make you gasp. Okay, so now for the color to go with gasp for subjects. Let's go with this one. And okay, a lot of yellows today. This one's another yellow, except this one's number 108. So this would have been the last one, but so the one before that, fright time, or yes, no, yes, where I took the punishment, where this one was the punishment. That was the 5th time I've landed on a fright time prompt, so that added an extra prompt. So instead of 5, we are now going for 6 prompts. Well, and then this one is the 2nd time in this particular game I landed on it, so 7 prompts is what we're up to. So for this one, again, was subjects. So again, a random word, and the word was gasp. So it's like, what can I do that's going to be related to gasp? And I thought I can do any horror, mystery, thriller, because they're supposed to have a twist that makes you, oh, I wasn't expecting that, especially if you don't figure it out. So that's what I'm going with, is like a cozy mystery, and the color is this number 108. And the one I'm going with is Lemon Tart by Josi S. Kilpack. As you can see, there is a lot of yellow shades, and so that's what I'm going with. Is this is in here somewhere. There's some in the yellow, in the lemon, in the shading. Obviously the background doesn't really count, but in the shading there is some all around that lemon. In the rind for the topping of the pie, it's in the lemon down here with the shading. So it definitely fits. So at least I don't have to split this one as well. So it says, a recipe for murder. 5 families living on Peregrine Circle, 1 flowered curtain tieback, 1 missing child, 1 body in the field. Mix with a long list of suspects and top with 2 very different detectives. Increase heat until only the truth remains. Let's see. Award-winning, author introduces a new series of culinary cozies that is sure to tantalize mystery lovers. In this debut for this series, here we go. Cooking aficionado turned amateur detective Sadie Hoffmiller tries to solve the murder of Anne Lemon, her beautiful young neighbor, a single mother who was mysteriously killed while a lemon tart was baking in her oven. At the heart of Sadie's search is Anne's missing 2-year-old son, Trevor. Whoever took the child must be the murderer, but Sadie is certain that the police are looking at all the wrong suspects, including her. Armed with a handful of her very best culinary masterpieces, Sadie is determined to bake her way to proving her innocence, rescuing Trevor, and finding out exactly who had a motive for murder. So, lemon tart. All right, now what would have been the last prompt again, but is not because of that double prompt. Prompt number 6 is what we're working with. All right, so a 7, so I have a 5 and a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Grateful for. Okay, so this is number 11. Okay, so that's the 2nd time landing on that square overall. and grateful for. Okay, second time there. And this is a random picture generator. So we're getting a different generator. So, okay. Let's see, I've closed out the random word generator so I can pull up the random picture. And this is what we're going with. Okay, so like a fortune cookie or something that has food on the cover. Right, but the color, I'll probably end up doing like food on the cover because that is food, preferably a dessert type food. But the cover should have this. Okay, so we've got something other than yellow. We have peony, so a pink. So prompt number 6 is grateful for. My thinking on this is where it's a random picture generator is generally with something that you're grateful for, like your friends and your families. You want to take pictures to document things. You're grateful for certain situations. You want to document it in pictures. So that's why it's a random picture generator. This one came up with the fortune cookie. I was looking for a book that had food on the cover, but I could not find a book that had food on the cover that was going to match this. And all the books that had food on the cover I really wasn't in the mood to pick up. But there is a book that deals with food. So that's how I'm making it work. Oh, and the color, again, as you can see, is peony. So this is the color, but this color is not on the cover. It's like several shades lighter. But I'm going to go with, for the food aspect, tender is the flesh. I'm going to read the synopsis and you'll see how it works. So fortune cookie is a food. Food is, or eating, is going to be something in this. And this, so Tender in the Flesh by Augstina, Buzterrica. I probably said that wrong, I apologize. Working at the local processing plant, Marcos is in the business of slaughtering humans, though no one calls them that anymore. His wife has left him, his father is sinking into dementia, and Marcos tries not to think too hard about how he makes a living. After all, it happened so quickly. First, it was reported that an infectious virus has made all animal meat poisonous to humans. Then, governments initiated the transition. Now, and this is where it is, eating human meat, special meat, so they're eating, and that's the focus. Cannibalism, basically, is now legal. Marcos tries to stick to numbers, consignments, processing. And then one day he's given a gift, a live specimen of the finest quality. Though he's aware that any form of personal contact is forbidden on pain of death, little by little he starts to treat her like a human being, and soon he becomes tortured by what has been lost and what might still be saved. So, where cannibalism is the main food source in this, that's what I'm going with. So, that's how I'm making that one work. Now, what book am I going to read that has this color? I'm going with this one. So, a YA coming of age story. This is Sarah Dessen, What Happened to Goodbye. So, as you can see right there, it's like a perfect match in here. So, yeah, this works. This is a YA coming of age. And Sarah Dessen tends to be a pretty quick read, so I'm good with this. I have not read this one by her yet. A new day, a new place, a new life. In the past few years, McLean has pretended to be so many different people that she hardly remembers who she really is anymore. The adorable guy next door might be able to help her figure it out, but is she ready for it? That's all of the synopsis, literally. It's just that little bit there. So, yeah, I will be reading that. So I do enjoy Sarah Dessen's writing. So, all right, will this be the last roll? Okay, so we have a 6 and a 4. So I'm moving 10 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Halloween party. Okay, so Halloween party. That's the second time for this prompt, and this is a book that has 2 or more people on the cover. Okay, and all right, now we need a random color. So I have to get a book that has 2 or more people on the cover, which will also hopefully contain this color. Oh, it's an orange. Russet orange is the color prompt for that one. And what is finally the last prompt number 7, so just ended up with 2 of them, is Halloween Party. This is to read a book that has 2 or more people on the cover, because your party is going to have to be more than one person. And the color that I drew for that is russet orange. So 2 or more people on the cover that has russet orange on it, on the cover. For this one, I'm going to go with number 3 in the Babysitter's Club graphic novel. This is Marianne Saves the Day. It's based on the novel by Anne M. Martin, and the author of the graphic novel is Raina Telgemeier, I'm guessing is how that is said. So as you can see, one of the friends here is wearing orange, and it's pretty spot on there. So this will definitely count. And this one's in a series. Just these girls I think they're in junior high, and they get together and form a babysitter's club, and they take care of little kids. They show that they're responsible, things like that. For this particular one, now I would say you can read these for the most part in any order. There are some things that you will pick up. If you read them in order, you'll pick up and say, oh, that was reference to that. That's a clue to that past one in that past book. So this one, it says, when the Babysitter's Club gets into a huge fight, Marianne is left to her own devices. She has to eat alone in the school cafeteria, figure out how to make new friends, and deal with her overprotective father. But the worst happens when she finds herself in a babysitting emergency and can't turn to her friends for help. Will Marianne solve the problems and save the Babysitter's Club from falling apart? So that's it. So these are the books that I have selected for November. Nothing too thick. The thickest one is the one by Sarah Dessen. Now content might make some of these a little bit more difficult to read, but I am looking forward to all of these books. I am very intrigued by all of these, and I hope I can get to all of these books in the month of November. I really do. The one I am least excited for is probably the Babysitter's Club one. Everything else I really do want to get to. So yeah, I'm excited with this stack. So let me know, have you read any of these books? Have you read from any of these authors before? Let me know, what are you excited to read in the month of November? Talk to me in the comment section below, and until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book, and I'll talk to you later.